We should actually do a research if there is a bad book or not.
मतलब मैंने आज कुछ नया इजाद किया है, नहीं नया कुछ इजाद नहीं करना है।
तो जिनको लिखना पसंद नहीं है वो क्या करें?
आप सबके फ़ोन में ऑडियो रिकॉर्डर है, उसमें डाल लो। टुडे टेक्नोलॉजी इज anyway made us lazy. We can continue being there. Put voice notes. Put it there if you cannot write. Identify your strengths. Many people don't identify their strengths correctly and they just jump in. If I give the same book to you and if I read it, each one of us will read and infer it in different ways. So if I will infer it that using this I can loot a bank, but I will read it and infer no, reading this I will see that I get a job in a bank. Same book, different perspectives. मैं बोला एक काम करो 6 बजे उठ जाओ. Give an hour to write. Why not? You can write. That's what I did. Early morning, late nights, weekends. Pick up the time and do it. Standing outside in the balcony, I saw a butterfly. Even if I say what a beautiful butterfly it is, such a beautiful color, I have never seen something like this. That's something new for me. Put it there. If I go by the same thing, many people ask me, when did you find time to write a book? Because you are almost working.
Even my question is that, ऐसा क्या था लाइफ में जो पहला ड्राइव था, write a book? Is there any bad book? Like if I ask, author to author discussion.
No, I don't think there are any bad books.
आम लाइफ रे सब बेले किसी ना किसी ट्रबल थाए. प्रोफेशनल लाइफ हो, पर्सनल लाइफ हो, करियर रे हो, पाठ पढ़ा समय चाकरी टेंशन थाए, पाठ पढ़ा सरीगला जॉब रे आरंभ ही टेंशन थाए. सब जिनसर सल्यूशन आमको सब समय मिले ठीक समय मिले किंतु थरे भाविकी देखु प्रथम जॉब करने पूर्वर बिफोर यू गेट योर फर्स्ट जॉब जदि आपन को प्रॉपरली गोटे मेंटर मिली था कि प्रॉपरली आपन को सेमती किसी नॉलेज मिली था जहाँकि आपन को सहयोग करता केमिति प्रॉपरली निजर जॉब सेक्टर रे काम करी हबो केमिति आपन करि परिबे. तो एभली गाइडेंस हमको कोठु मिले फ्रॉम मेंटर्स, फ्रॉम बुक्स, फ्रॉम लीडर्स, फ्रॉम एक्सपीरियंस्ड पीपल. सो डेरी नकरी आज आम सहित जे गेस्ट अच्छा इंट्रोड्यूस करवा पूर्व कही रखापी चाहिए एंटायर पॉडकास्ट विल बी इन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी कारण ही इज फ्रॉम बैंगलोर. सो आम सहित अच्छा बेस्ट सेलिंग ऑथर ऑफ इंडिया, राइटर ऑफ 2 great books, Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput. He is also a mentor and today he will be our esteemed guest.
Thank you.
Hello sir, greetings. How do you like Club Bhubaneswar?
It's a different experience. I'll not say that I'm somebody who regularly visits cafes. I'm somebody who's more happy being in my own house. But being in a place which is a amalgamation of books and coffee, it's a pretty toxic, I'll not say toxic, it's a pretty dangerous combination, right?
Yes.
Having together, if you're one of those who
It's
loves
intoxicating,
to, yeah, thanks for the correction. If you are one of those who loves books, if you're one of those who just want a space where you can sit and ideate, for him it's heaven.
Yes, so true.
And I just felt the same here. Thanks for inviting in the first place.
Thank you sir, pleasure all mine. So, sir, I'd like to ask you something. I don't understand particularly career mentoring. I mean, first for the viewers, can you please tell what exact thing we can consider as a career? What's that? It is different for people. Like somebody can be a poet, somebody can be an author, somebody can be a driver, somebody can be a scientist. So, how can a particular type of mentoring can help each and everybody?
Okay, let me answer one by one.
Okay,
your first question was about career, right? Typically, when we start working on something, I've seen this predominantly happening when people get into, I'll take example directly from the corporate world, okay? Where people come out of college and they pick up a field, let's say marketing or finance, and they say that this is where I want to make my career. No, you're too early to say that. It's like, I just got a girlfriend and I'm going to say that I'm going to marry her. No, you have to give time, right? So you need to spend some time figuring out what are your strengths. Are you really good at it? Many people say I'm good at numbers, so I will become a finance professional. No. Anybody who's good at numbers shouldn't be in finance, he should be in marketing. And I'll tell you the reason why. At the end of the day, marketing is all about numbers.
Right.
And not GAN. right? Whereas finance is about how do I infer those numbers, what those numbers really mean for a company. That's being in finance. So until you don't know what your strengths are, until then you cannot say this is where I want to build my career. Some time ago, let me say there is, for the lack of word right now, I'll say there's a framework or a model that I built. Every career has 3 phases in it. Okay, the first phase is learning phase. When you're just out, you take something and you learn. You learn as much as possible about it to make yourself a master in that. Once you are done through that, the next is your growth phase. Then when you start growing actually, and that's when you can say this is what my career is, because you are now a master in that. Once you are hit that, or once you cross that, the next is the saturation stage, right? Once you hit saturation, then what? Typically, I'm sure yourself or all the listeners would have gone to maths class, right? Everybody has seen a graph. A graph typically goes up to a level and then it has to come down. And
I'm very bad in maths.
typically, let's put it this way, if anything goes up, has to come down. At least you will agree to that.
Yes, true.
Nothing can be there forever, right? And that's exactly what happens in career also. People say that, okay, I keep going, the second stage is done, I'm saturated, then what? That's when you need to talk about relearning. Because that's, by that time, something new would have come. You need to relearn and upskill yourself so that the graph keeps going up. Otherwise you don't, then the graph goes down. Then naturally it will go down.
Upgrading yourself is very much important.
Absolutely. You cannot say that I will continue doing what I am doing today for the next 20 years.
Right.
No, it doesn't. At least in today's world, you cannot. Maybe 20 years ago when I started my career, things were very different. Technology was not at the forefront so much. But today, everything is technology driven, right? From what we are doing right now, correct?
True.
So until technology drives changes, you cannot say that what is available today will be the same next year. No.
Right.
So you need to. So in short, to answer your question on career, what I start doing today is just to understand what my strength is. Once I know what my strength is when I decide, okay, this is where I want to build my career. Either it's an author, either it's a marketer, either it's a finance person, anybody.
Sir, at what age particularly we can say that this is the learning phase, like from 10 years to 16 years, जैसे कि हमारा पहले था like 15 years old होने तक आप सीख रहे हो, फिर 25 तक आप कुछ जो भी सीखना है सीख लो, उसके बाद आपको गृहस्थ बनना होगा, उस टाइप का थोड़ा सा वैदिक लर्निंग प्रोसेस. सो इन मॉडर्न डेज इफ वी से कब तक सीखना है?
मरने तक. Because see, we are ever evolving. As I said, right, things are not the same. So you need to keep upskilling yourself, you need to keep knowing new things. Let's put it simplistic, right? I'll take your example. Let's say today you are a fiction writer. So tomorrow, let's say you want to shift to non-fiction. I'm just taking an example. It's not like one fine morning you'll get up and say, well, I'll write non-fiction, right? At least you'll go and refer a couple of books. You'll see what the pattern is, what the way the story is built, what the way things are constructed. So you're practically learning, right? So you cannot say that, no, I'll just blindly start writing something. No, it doesn't work. So that's the reason, until we die, we learn. And the people who say that, no, I've learned everything, are the ones who are going to go extinct, like dinosaurs. Because you cannot say that, no, I'm done, I've learned everything, I know everything. You go and ask anybody. At least today, we are in a world of knowledge-based workers. We are no more into 100% Mason kind of work all the time, right? So in a knowledge-based workers, your knowledge has to keep evolving. And if your knowledge doesn't, and irrespective, whether you are running your own business, whether you are working somewhere, you need to learn something new every other day.
What's more important, knowledge or experience?
I'll say experience to use your knowledge better. You need to know where to apply your knowledge. Having knowledge doesn't guarantee that I will be able to apply it correctly. But only when I start using it is when I know, oh yes, I can apply it. Let me take a simple example. Like, for example, I don't know whether you or any of the listeners have ever tried self-help books. Self-help books typically are like energy drinks. When you read them, you are in all josh. I want to change myself, I want to become a different person, but it fades away.
Yes.
It fades away. Since it's an energy drink, right? As the energy drink subsides, it fades. Now, when I thought about writing the book, the first thing I wanted to do is I didn't want to keep it like a motivational book. It has to be rather be practical. Meaning, once somebody reads it, he or she should know how to even apply it. Because if I don't know how to apply it, then I'm gone. And that's one of the reasons why if you see both of my books, it includes exercises.
Let me just interrupt for a while. These are your books, right?
Yes.
I wish someone told me this before my first job. And the other one, which is very popular, Mindful Momentum. So I'd like to ask you one question. There are so many books which are based on particularly the self-help and motivation things and all. Why these two are different and how? I mean, from your writing, from your perspective, alag kya hai?
That's what I was trying to answer.
Yeah.
Good, you asked me, and I'm almost going to repeat the first part again.
Yeah.
As I said, and see, for me, I have been reading self-help books from very long time, right from my college days. And one thing I have found as a big gap in every self-help book is it tells you what to do. It tells you how to do. But how to actually do it, none of them tell you.
It's difficult to understand from that.
So, let's put it this way, right? We all went to school. I'm sure you also would have. Like I also did. When a maths problem was solved, there was something given as homework for us to practice. Because if it's only done in the class, chances of we forgetting the next day is always high. And that's the reason homework was given.
Right.
The same way, that homework is missing in today's self-help books. People read it, but then don't know how to practice it.
Right.
If you are able to capture some sort of activity, exercises.
The implementation of the knowledge.
Yes. If you make that as part of your book, and that's what I have done. So when somebody reads it, let's take a simple example. We talk about mindful techniques. Now, if I don't tell people how you can practice this, they understood what are mindful techniques, but they don't know how to practice it.
Right.
So that's what I've tried to capture, and that's the biggest differentiation that I can say is in these books and any other self-help books.
This mindful momentum, is it having any references regarding this mental health and corrections of any issues associated with it?
Not really, not really. Okay, I'll tell you the genesis of this book. Okay, the genesis of this book is actually out of pain. So when I wanted to start this book, I had just lost my mother. So she passed away for cancer. I was lost. I was devastated. I was like any other son, right? I didn't have a clue how to proceed. But there's one thing which kept on remembering or reminding me about her was she always was mindful, meaning she was always in the present.
Okay.
She was never in the past or never in the future. She was like, I'm here, let me live this moment first correctly.
Lovely.
And that is what I thought, maybe that's what we are all missing. That's one. Second, predominantly in youngsters and even people with middle-aged group, I have seen there are two big problems. One is procrastination, the second is overthinking. Both of them are big problems. Big problems in making ourselves incapable over a period of time.
These are psychological problems.
Of course, there are psychological problems. One is where you are delaying it, the other one is where you are just thinking and not actually doing anything. And these were the reason because of which I thought, what if there was a book which can help me to stop procrastinating, stop delaying things, saying that kal hai, parso hai, kabhi to karenge. No, kal hai, parso hai, pata hai, tum ho, nahi pata hai. Kal parso to hoga, tum hoga ki nahi pata, right? So if that is the case, it's better to have a guide which can help me to prepare myself to do things today. If I plan for today, let me do it, and what should drive it. So this book basically helps you to focus and get out of mental loops, because we only think and think and think, and when it comes to implementation, we again think. So the implementation never happens, right? So the execution is only going to happen when we are going to come out of thinking and start actually doing it.
Yes.
What is that drives you to make it happen? That's what this book is about.
Sir, मुझे मुझे क्या करना है उसको ढूंढते ढूंढते मतलब इट टुक अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम इन माई लाइफ बिफोर आई लर्न व्हाट टू डू एंड व्हाट टू परस्यू व्हाट शुड बी माई एम एंड एम्बिशन. अगर कोई मतलब सपोज 12th पास कोई कर रहा है बच्चा लाइक सिंस 10th 12th में कोई है तो उसके लिए एम्बिशन क्या है, व्हाट इज़ एम्बिशन एंड कहाँ मिलता है एम्बिशन?
Okay.
एक सरल सीधा सा आंसर जो उनको समझ में आए.
For a 12-year-old would be typically 18-year-old.
18-year-old.
Right. For an 18-year-old, the ambition is to have fast cars, right? A lot of money.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Right. A lot of money, a lot of free time,
A mobile
and
phone,
maybe a girlfriend.
girlfriend.
That's it. That's typically their ambition, right? Because see, our ambitions are driven by what we see around us and what we prioritize in life. Most of the things that we have achieved is based on our priorities.
अगर शुरुआत से ही उसको कुछ मॉडिफाई किया जा सके या फिर यू नो वी कैन मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड, वी कैन मेक आवरसेल्फ अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग और एट अर्ली एज, तो हो सकता है कुछ
Definitely, of course, why not? Let's put it this way, right? If I just see the generational gap, the generation that I come from is where I grew up listening to stories from my grandmother.
Yeah.
Right, and not just listening. I still remember even when I was 12 years old, I used to push my grandmother to tell me stories. I cannot sleep without that, and that left a lot of values inside me, which by the time I reached 18 or 19, my life was relatively clearer of what I want to do, at least in
Right.
some way or the other. Whereas today, with information overload, there's so much of information around the kids or the 18 years old or 20 years old, it's becoming very difficult for them to decide what should I be doing.
Yeah.
So one is you need to cut the noise. Try to block being over informed.
Okay.
Rather take only what is necessary. We are taking more than what is necessary, and then processing it is basically making my mind being more overloaded.
उसके लिए like suppose if we consider a mature teen, particularly what thing he should or she should rely on, internal tools or external support system or the technology or the things that the parents do say, what exactly is the thing, मतलब किस चीज़ पे उनको बिलीव करना चाहिए कि ये चीज़ है, तो अगर ये चीज़ ये बता रहा है, अगर यूट्यूब बता रहा है ये चीज़, तो मुझे ये करना चाहिए, पेरेंट्स ये बोल रहे हैं ये करना चाहिए, या फिर खुद के अंदर से एक आवाज़ आ रहा है मुझे कवि बनना है तो ये करना चाहिए, कैसे समझ आएगा? How?
आपने कुछ देर पहले एक सवाल पूछा था मुझसे, which comes first, experience or knowledge,
Yes.
right? Now your parents bring in experience, everything else brings in the knowledge.
True that, yes.
Right? I'm talking for somebody who's 18, 19-year-old because he has more of knowledge from outside, but experience has to come only from parents. So I'll use the same thing here as a response. You need to first listen to the experience. What experience is? The experience says that this is the way I have lived my life, which is what basically your parents will tell you. This is what we have gone through, this is how we have experienced it. And then the knowledge says that's the old way of doing things. There is a new way of doing things. And that is where the gap is filled by your mentors or your career coaches. Because let's put it this way, when you were 18 and you wanted to do something, if you would have gone back to your parents, they would have denied it, not because they don't believe in it, because they have no idea about it.
True that.
Right? It's like when I went to do my MBA, my parents didn't know anything other than the full form of MBA. So I couldn't have relied on them. So I would have rather asked somebody, an outsider, what do you think, should I be doing this and how is it going to help me? Now during those days, and I'm saying those were, let's say 20 years ago or 25 years ago, we didn't have a concept as mentors or career coaches. Today they are available. Reach out to them. Of course, there are techniques that they will use to figure out where and how you fit in which, let's say, which quadrant, right? And they will guide you that way.
True that.
And based on that, then you can use your external knowledge to validate it, that what he or she is saying, should I be doing it or not?
Yes.
So, to answer your question in a single sentence, mentors are your way to go. And if your subsequent question is, where will I find them? Of course, they are not mangoes. They're going to find them in market. But today there are enough and more platforms available where you can go and as such you said, you search on YouTube, you search on other platforms. There are so many career coaches, you can reach out to them, okay, and talk to them. I'll give a simple example, like what you just mentioned about the career coaching part, right? Or let's say, where should I go? So, couple of months ago, one of the leading newspaper, okay, in Bangalore called as Deccan Herald, they had organized a career fair, which was specifically for students who are coming out of 12th and they are about to get into graduation. Now, graduation can be anything, engineering, BSc, BCom, whatever you want to call it as, right? And I was invited to talk to the students of about alternative career options. Engineering, medical, तो everybody does it, सबको पता है क्या होता है. उसको छोड़ के क्या है? Come and talk to them. The reason I am using this example is today there are so many such events that are happening. So as a teen or as a youngster who's about to get into the next phase of your life, you need to go and attend these places. You will get better ideas. At least you will get a fair idea. Fair idea. My only request is, जब आप ऐसे जगहों पे जाते हो ना, you should go with an open mind. Not with कि मुझे already पता है, अब ये क्या बोलेगा वो भी मुझे पता है, और मुझे ये भी पता है कि मुझे ना बोलना है. Then you will not get anything. You should go with an open mind. ठीक है, let me see. Engineering, medical, those everybody talks about it. What else is available today? Can I explore them? Is it possible? So this is the way out for your teens.
Right. So business, philosophy, and money, career, creativity, ये सब अलग अलग सेगमेंट्स है. सपोज सबको एक साथ लेके साथ में चलना है. लाइक आई एम अ पर्सन, आई वांट टू डू बिजनेस, आई वांट टू परस्यू क्रिएटिविटी एंड आई हैव टू कीप माई मोरल फिलोसफी अलाइव. तो कैसे करना है, लाइक बैलेंस कैसे करना है सर? ये आप जो बोलोगे आंसर मुझे भी हेल्प करेगा एंड व्यूअर्स को भी.
Okay, the moment you put those 2-3 things, right, especially they are very interesting words, right? Business, philosophy, the other one? Career
and creativity,
right? All four are four sides of a triangle.
Yes.
Right?
बीच में खड़ा है इंसान बेचारा.
Correct. The first thing that struck my mind is a very interesting speech given by Shah Rukh Khan. It just suddenly struck the moment you said this word to me. Okay. He had said, "Don't become a philosopher until you become rich."
पहले उधर जाना है फिर
नहीं, basically which means lot of the things that I want to do at times require monetary backing.
Yes.
It just cannot happen just like that, right? So let's say if today you want to be an author, I want to be a speaker, or let's say I want to be a philosopher, I still need to have the right resources to make it happen, right? If you want to publish a book, you want to write a book, you still need financial support.
Yes.
Right? You cannot say that no, doesn't matter, I will survive on air. None of us are going to survive on air. Yeah. Right? So we still need money. So when you need money, you need to see to it that you have a day job and then you have your passion. Now both of them are going hand in hand. Right? One basically takes care of your requirements. The other one basically takes care of what your heart wants, which is your passion or your creativity.
Yes.
So that's the reason they say, right, what you do in the daytime, you do it for your stomach. What you do it late in the evening, you do it for your heart. Because that's when you are free from the materialistic things and now you are only focusing on what makes you feel good. Either it's writing, either it is singing, either it's dancing, it can be anything.
Yes.
Right? So the best way to is you need to take both hand in hand, but you need to allocate your time accordingly.
So you are currently giving coaching to people and the people who are the professional people at work and all. You make them understand कैसे काम करना है, work process क्या है, how to follow the rules, how to pursue the professionalism. आगे चल के क्या होने वाला है ये वर्क प्रोफेशन में पर्टिकुलरली, ये जो चीज़ें हैं रूल्स रेगुलेशंस नियम कानून ये सब रहने वाला है या फिर ये सब जाएगा एंड एक कैजुअल वर्क फ्रॉम आएगा जैसे अभी आया वर्क फ्रॉम होम, या फिर आप घर में बैठो कहीं भी रहो यू कैन जस्ट डू द वर्क जो डिजिटल प्रोसेस में एंड ऑल, ये सब चीज़ें बेहतर है आगे चलते, या फिर जो पहले था 9 to 5 जॉब, जाओ काम करो, वो सब सही था?
Okay. सबसे पहले तो there are no more 9 to 5 jobs and there will never be 9 to 5 jobs because your work is demands you to be available beyond the clock.
That's true.
Yeah, let's put it let's understand why because today
गवर्नमेंट जॉब जो भी है वो 9 to 5 है,
वो तो
बाकी
वैसा ही रहेगा
हाँ.
शायद if it remains.
Yes.
But if you look at most of the private sector, let's put it this way, India is a hub for globally for many countries. So we deal with clients and customers outside India now. And we are required to be available to work based on when they are available.
That's
And
right.
not the other way around. So because of which the time zone difference goes out. So you are practically available whenever is required, right? Now coming
अभी
to
ये चीज़ अगर अभी ये चीज़ अगर हुआ तो पैशन के लिए वक्त ही नहीं रहेगा, फिर काम करो 24 घंटा एंड ऑल.
not really, but again let me put it this way, right? Even अगर आप ये कर रहे हो, I know people who work late in the night, like let's say they do night shifts, daytime they are sleeping,
Yes.
right? But I also know people who are sleeping, or rather the other way around, who are working night shifts, but daytime they take 2-3 hours time out for themselves. Either to, I'm not saying passion, I'm not saying about specifically about writing or singing, dancing. They are doing even simpler things like going to a gym.
Yeah.
I'm still giving time for my health. I'm able to do it, right? See, one thing I've realized in all these years is everything is based on priority.
Okay.
If it's my priority, I'll give it time. If it's not my priority, I'll give reasons.
That's true.
मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकता, मैं क्यों नहीं आ सकता, मैं क्यों नहीं जा सकता. There are reasons, right? But say the reasons are not the real one. The reason is you are not in the priority. The things that you want to do are not in priority. Simple. If I go by the same thing, many people ask me, when did you find time to write a book? Because you are almost working.
Even
most
my
of the
question
time.
is that ऐसा क्या था लाइफ में जो पहला ड्राइव था, I'll write a book. I'll
Okay,
be an author.
I'll answer that. Before that, I'll answer this. So
Okay.
when they asked me that question, I said, okay, let me look at this way. What time do you start working? They said I start working at 10 o'clock in the morning. I said, great. What time do you get up? I get up around 7:30. मैं बोला एक काम करो 6 बजे उठ जाओ.
Okay.
Give an hour to write. Why not? You can, right? And that's what I did. Early mornings, late nights, weekends. Pick up the time and do it, because the priority was I wanted this script or manuscript for the world to see, and I made it happen. If not, then I will not get up. I will keep
Right.
giving reasons, because I see many seasoned leaders who have spoken to me and said, you know, Sushant, even I want to write a book. I have so much of experience. I have spent 30 years, 35 years in the industry. I have so much to talk about. But you know what? टाइम नहीं है. टाइम नहीं है, नहीं ये तुम्हारा प्रायोरिटी नहीं है. अगर जिस दिन ये तुम्हारा प्रायोरिटी बनेगा ना, तुम टाइम अपने आप ढूंढ लोगे करने के लिए. नहीं तो नहीं. इट्स लाइक किड्स टुडे हैव टाइम टू स्क्रॉल.
We have to set the priority no matter what.
Always, right?
And as soon as possible.
Sooner the better, always.
Yes.
Now coming to the next question that you asked is about what drove, right, to write the book. I already mentioned about the mindful momentum. I'll go to the first book, which is, I wish someone told me this before my first job. So the genesis of this book was through my mentoring sessions.
Okay.
What I have observed typically in most of the youngsters is they are brilliant in technical concepts. They are very brilliant in knowing the subject. But what was missing big time is professional skills.
Okay.
And when I say professional skills, I'm not talking about something outrageous. I'm talking about very simple things like time management, ownership, accountability, flexibility. Simple things were missing. So, and it is not like only with them. Let's say 2 decades ago when I came out of MBA, even I didn't have any idea about these things because there was nobody to tell. But I learned through my experiences, hardships. But then I realized, what if there was a guide available which can better prepare students and younger professionals before they set out in the real world how they can prepare themselves. So that at least you will not spend more time to correct yourself, rather than that you already have the basic fundamentals with you. Now it's all about building over it.
Yes.
That was the genesis of that book.
Before any professional growth, we must focus on the personal growth. आप सजेस्ट करो सर, आपके एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से एंड विद रिस्पेक्ट टू योर बुक्स, पर्टिकुलरली वाटर बेसिक से शुरू करते हैं. डेली रूटीन्स क्या होना चाहिए फॉर द पर्सनल ग्रोथ?
Okay, there is something called as habits. We all need to build the right habits.
Okay.
The personal growth will automatically happen.
जैसे सुबह उठना चाहिए, वो
सुबह तो उठेंगे ही कभी ना कभी, तो अगर 8 बजे नहीं उठे 10 बजे तो उठ ही जाएंगे.
तो ये चलेगा.
Over a period of time, नहीं, over a period of time, there are many habits that I have built, but I have seen 3 habits which actually drive your personal growth. Okay, one is journaling. You need to journal every day.
Okay.
What does it mean? It means, let's say I get up in the morning, I know there are 5 things I need to do. I need to write it somewhere. These are the 5 things I need to do, and to do these 5 things, these are the 10 things I am dependent on.
Yes.
That I need to make it happen. This is the start of the day. Now the story doesn't end there. At the end of the day, you need to go back to the journal again and see out of the 5 how many you are able to do it.
Right.
Right? And if you are not able to do 1 or 2 of them, what is the reason because of which you are not able to do it? Is it like dependency on something? Is it because you are waiting for some response from somebody? Whatever it can be, visit back again. Another thing to add in the journal at the end of the day is, what are the 2 or 3 things that you learnt in the day? And learning doesn't need to be outrageous. Learning need to be as simple as this. Let's say I am just standing outside in the balcony, I saw a butterfly. Even if I say what a beautiful butterfly it is, such a beautiful color, I have never seen something like this. That's something new for you. Put it there.
Okay.
It's something new, right? What's wrong in it? Because people think learning मतलब मैंने आज कुछ नया इजाद किया है. नहीं, नया कुछ इजाद नहीं करना है.
सर, जिनको लिखना पसंद नहीं है वो क्या करें?
आप सबके फ़ोन में ऑडियो रिकॉर्डर है, उसमें डाल लो. Today technology is anyway made us lazy. We can continue being there. Put voice notes. Put it there if you cannot write. Right? The second habit is reading. Read at least 3 to 4 pages every day. It can be a book, it can be an article, it can be a write-up, it can be anything. 2 ways it helps. One, it shifts your mind from thinking all other things, diverting or aligning only to a subject.
Right.
Second is, it will improve your creativity. It will start making you think, why this way, why not that way. Third and the most important, in a day, take some time out to be silent. Don't do anything. Just be in silence and retrospect. What is that is I'm doing is going right? Something that I'm doing is not going right. Question yourself. Many of us question others. How many of us question ourselves?
Right. That's a great
We never
answer.
question ourselves, right? So do that. If you are able to do these 3 things, journaling, reading, being in silence every day as a habit, your personal growth will automatically happen because it is related to you. That's the reason it's called as personal, right? If I have to grow, which means I need to work on myself. You do these 3 things, rest everything is a subset of this.
Right, sir. Great. With respect to personal growth, I have one more question. What exactly, which particular myth that is associated with personal growth that you want to break, sir?
Biggest myth, that I need to completely change myself to grow. You don't need to. My book actually addresses the same thing. Be what you are, accept who you are. Don't judge yourself, don't underestimate yourself. Rather, use whatever skills you have, whatever strengths you have, and work on it, because not everybody is running the same race. Each one of us is running a different race. Even if you are not running, you are in your own lane. When you are in your own lane, your direction should be yours. That's the reason it's called as personal growth, right? It's not a public growth.
Right.
So basically, you need to accept who you are rather than thinking, no, I will completely transform myself and then I will think about growth.
Then I'll achieve something. It's a
Then
myth.
I will grow. No, Because please understand, transformation of yourself, because personal growth is what? Transforming from what you are to what you can.
Right, sir.
Transformation doesn't happen overnight. They are small, simple steps, okay, which you need to do consistently. Like let's say reading only.
Yes.
I cannot say that I'll read only for 2 days and third day I'll give it a break. Then your personal focus is gone.
Right.
You are not giving time to yourself.
Right.
You can say no sir, मेरे को actually ना सर दर्द हो रहा है. सर दर्द हो रहा है तो पहले किताब पढ़ो फिर. Because your mind will actually get diverted. Otherwise else you will only keep thinking about your headache.
Right, sir. So ऐसा होता है ना जैसे there is a doctor, how good he is, वो पता चलेगा उनके patient से. So we would like to know about story of your readers. ऐसा कुछ कहानी है? Do you have any references of any of your readers जो पढ़े और उनके life में कुछ परिवर्तन आया? Some changes they saw.
Okay, I'll give you 2 examples. There are many of them, but I'll give 2 of them who reached out to me. The first one is this girl was actually my ex-student, and after reading my book, she messaged me, and that was a phase when she was still struggling to get her first job, and she was not getting one. So she messaged me. She said, "Sir, your book really helped me, not in getting a job, but rather it helped me to step back and start looking at things from a different perspective. What are the things that are not in my control? What are the things that I need to build as habits? How do I improve myself, not just for a job, but for a career?"
Right, sir.
That helped me. Your book actually helped me doing that.
Great.
The second one was, he was an young professional, hardly 2-3 years of experience, and he had a issue with focus and discipline, which is a very common problem, right? And he used to say the only reason I'm unable to focus and build discipline is I keep overthinking. I'm too much into it. And then he said, when I read your book, I got ideas how to overcome overthinking by doing simple things. Like, again, it goes back to prioritizing what I want to do today.
Yes.
What is that I want to achieve in the next 6 months? If I had that clarity, it was much easier, and I was able to do it through journaling. So these are 2 of the feedbacks that I've got which have stayed with me for long. Of course, there are many others, but these 2 I felt right, okay, the books.
So that was the achievement of yours, like I have written something and it changed somebody's life.
That's the reason I say, right? So books are not just to inspire, books are to transform.
Yes.
It only depends on whether you're picking the right one.
Right, sir. And if you pick the wrong one, then life is a disaster.
Possibility is that you will have wrong ideas.
Is there any bad book, like if I ask? Just
No, I don't think there are any bad
No, it's
books.
an author to author discussion.
No, I don't think there are any bad books. See, point is, let's put it this way, right? If I give the same book to you and if I read it, each one of us will read and infer it in different way. So if I will infer it that using this I can loot a bank, but I will read it and infer, no, reading this I will see that I get a job in a bank. Same book, different perspectives.
Yes.
So there are no bad books.
We should actually do a research if there is a bad book or not.
Depends. So today, okay, since you asked this, right, again, this is where it gets interesting, right? So when I was in the airport, we were in the security check. So I saw a girl, she had kept the book that she is reading. The name of the book is How Should a Good Girl Murder Someone?
Okay.
Now, should I say that's a bad book? I don't know. Maybe the title is that way, but
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly, right? So practically there are no bad books.
But that's an interesting title. Who's the author? Did you read?
No, I couldn't because it just, in the meantime, it just swooped through into the...
No, I'm not interested to murder anybody.
No, none of
just
us
a
are,
curious question.
of course.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that. But no, none of us. But thing is, this is what happens, right? So now if somebody reads that book, somebody might get an idea that, oh, there are ways to do something like this. And somebody else might get, oh, there is a way to murder. I will use this now.
Yes.
So I will not say there are bad readers or bad books, but the way I perceive...
But there are examples when people read a book and they turn into a criminal or murder somebody.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, it all depends on how I infer or what I learn from that book.
Right.
and each one of us learns differently, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we both went to the same school, doesn't mean we both end the same way.
True.
Both of us will end in a different way. Now we cannot say that no, the teachers were good to him, bad to me.
True that.
Not really. They read the same books, I read the same books. So somewhere something the way I read and the way you read is different.
हम सबके लाइफ में कहानी है. We all have a story. Please tell me your story.
About?
About you. Just 2, 3 lines, 5 lines, 10 lines.
My.
हर किसी की कहानी है. आपका क्या है?
मेरा तो मूवी है. So interestingly, my life has been a lot of ups and downs, and I always feel life should have ups and downs because that's when you learn, that's when you know the real you.
It's because when you walk in, when you were sitting with my boys, my staffs, they were very happy to talk to you. They said we learned something, and it was like that. So you were inspiring people. आपके लाइफ में ऐसी कोई कहानी होगी that inspired you to be the person you are now?
Okay, that way then it's my father. My father has been my biggest inspiration, and whatever I've become in life is, I'll not say only because of him, but also equally because of my mother. The biggest, or let me first come to what's the interesting part of my life. So, I have too many U-turns in my life that I've taken. To put it simplistically, I did my graduation in computers, but I never went into IT.
Okay.
I never liked it. More than that, I thought myself I'm not capable for it. So I just said no, thank you so much. I took a U-turn, I got into sales. I did sales for a year, and then somebody suggested me, why don't you do an MBA? It will really help in your life. So I did an MBA in marketing. I came out, and then I got a job in investment banking. One more U-turn. And somehow it fascinated me because stock markets have always fascinated me. I track them, I just love numbers somehow. And then working through that, I got a chance again to go back into business development, which is part of marketing. So I again went back. In all of this, after spending 2 decades, I started thinking there is so much that I have learned. It's my time to share this knowledge and learning.
Yes.
And that's what made me to wear the hat of an author.
Yes.
And write the books. Once I did that, then I started thinking, why don't I share this knowledge on a regular basis? And that's what made me to end up into being a visiting faculty, a guest speaker to students. In short, it's a life filled with a lot of U-turns, but each turn that I have taken has been based on, yes, this is what I want to do.
Yes.
I didn't take a U-turn because you know what, इधर मजा नहीं आ रहा है, चल उधर चल के देखते हैं. No. Many a times people think that just taking a U-turn because I'm not enjoying this will give me a better life there. No. Switch or take a U-turn only when you're sure this is not something that I don't want to do in life. Yes. Actually, the one which is on the other side of the road is where I want to be and do it. That's when you take. That's when it will make sense.
Nice way to put this up. Nice. Great.
Because many people switch careers, switch just because
ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, इसमें मजा नहीं आ रहा है, किक नहीं मिल रहा तो दूसरी जगह ट्राई यार.
वहाँ तुमको अलग जगह किक मिलेगा फिर.
Yeah.
The problem is don't do that. Do it, and that's the reason the first thing that I tell most of my students or most of the people I meet, whenever you think about switching, whenever you think about doing something else in your life, the first thing that you need to do is, what are your strengths? Identify your strengths. Many people don't identify their strengths correctly and they just jump in.
Yeah.
मुझे भी business करना है. Do you have the business acumen? Please go ahead. If not, don't get into it based on he started a business, he became a crorepati. He started a business and he know what he's doing today. No, don't do that. I want to get into doing something based on somebody else's success doesn't guarantee you will be successful. Your success should be driven by your strengths. That's the reason the first thing that every individual that in college or school needs to do is write 10 of your strengths. And mark my words, by the time you are 20, your 10 strengths would have become only 5. Because you slowly start realizing this is actually not my strength.
So, now youngsters का सबसे बड़ा problem पता है क्या है? Heartbreaks.
Okay.
आप कुछ सीधा सरल सा सिंपल सा solution दो, इस चीज़ को कैसे overcome किया जाए? Like ये ग्रोथ में भी इशू लाता है, ये फोकस में भी इशू लाता है। प्यार हो गया, 15-16 साल के लड़के को प्यार हो गया, फिर गया 10-12 साल उधर ही गया, उसके बाद जब उठेगा बोलेगा दिल टूटा था, ये हुआ वो हुआ, तो उस चीज़ का सोल्यूशन क्या है सर?
Okay, there is not a single solution for heartbreaks because heartbreaks can happen because of multiple reasons, right?
Yes.
Like for example, what you're talking about 15, 16 or 17 year, today 16, 17-year-old get a solution for a heartbreak. You need to understand what's the heartbreak happening because of. Is it
Yes.
happening because of me or because of somebody else?
सर वो तो होना ही होता है, वो तो होता है,
हाँ.
लेकिन उस चीज़ को हैंडल कैसे किया जाए विद रिस्पेक्ट टू करियर, विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ग्रोथ, विद रिस्पेक्ट टू आवर ड्रीम्स एंड अचीवमेंट्स एंड एम्बिशंस, अगर वो हैम्पर करता है तो?
There's a word called as resilience. I'm sure you would have heard about
Yes.
it. It's about how, it's not how quickly, but how strongly you bounce back in life, right? One of the things that you need to build in yourself, right from a teenage or right from your kid, is being resilient. I remember we fell from trees as a kids, but we still got up and we're running. It's not like we stopped climbing the trees. We're still climbing the trees, right?
Yes.
The same way, if you got ditched, it's not like you'll stop chasing girls. You'll still chase the girls, right? But you still need to get up and run first place to chase them back again. But if you're just going to sit there, the world is not going to sit there. The world will keep moving. You need to learn to move, right? If somebody asks me, one of the biggest reason for heartbreak disasters is expectations.
Okay.
And people have too many expectations without even realizing how much are you contributing in that relationship.
Great. It's a good point.
Expect only how much you can give. Don't expect more than you are giving. Then there is a problem, right? Then the chance of your heartbreak is always high. Because then your heartbreak will be even for smallest of things. She didn't come to meet me today, right? But did you set that expectation at the start that it is not going to work this way, it's only going to work this way?
Yes.
Then the chances are less. But finally we are humans, we are not animals, right? So chances of we are prone to have expectation. There is nothing wrong to have.
Yes.
But when you have expectations, also be ready to see the other side of the coin. In case if this doesn't happen, then what? Will I accept it or will I confront it? If you are one of those guys who will confront it, it's better to step back before the heartbreak happens.
Are these points are there in this book, sir? ये होना चाहिए, मतलब एक गाइड होना चाहिए टीन्स के लिए, इसको कैसे हैंडल किया जाए? I sincerely wish
since you are seeing this, right? So somebody whom I know, she's also a writer and also a psychologist.
Okay.
So she just about to release her next book. The book is about heartbreaks.
Oh, lovely.
Nothing else. Okay. You can very well invite her also in your podcast. Sure. She's a psychiatrist, or rather she's a psychologist, not psychiatrist. She's a psychologist. So she keeps getting students, such people, lot asking her, somebody who has lost a job, somebody who has lost a girlfriend, whatever you want to call it as, right? And she guides them. So that book, she's talking about school and college romance and heartbreaks and how that changes your entire perspective about life.
इस पे पूरा एक पॉडकास्ट होना चाहिए मुझे, मतलब जितना हम देखते हैं इधर इन कैफे, वी सी पीपल लाइक दैट, दिल टूटा, रोए, काम नहीं, कुछ नहीं, तो इस चीज़ का कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा.
I don't want to sound too harsh, but जब तक दिल टूटेगा नहीं भाई, तू आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. My philosophy of life, because until you are not broken, you don't know how to gather yourself back.
That's true, right?
You need to break yourself once. If somebody doesn't, you break yourself by yourself. You will find more reasons to put yourselves together. आपको लगेगा कि क्या वो चार चीजें कर सकता हूँ, so that I can stand back again. So yeah, I will any which ways I'll share about her details with you. You can invite her.
Sure,
so
sure.
Since you just mentioned, she just is putting teasers about her new book, and this is all about heartbreaks only.
It's lovely.
So maybe she'll be the right person. You can have an entire podcast on that. She will give you all the possible ideas how to overcome it. But for me, the easiest, I'll not say easiest, The realistic way is check on your expectations.
Right.
As high the expectation, chances of your heartbreak is high. Have realistic or minimal expectation, chances are less. And not just with any girl or boy, even with your parents. Higher the expectation that they'll take care of you, that much you'll go easy, that much you'll go lazy.
Right.
As much as you know they are not going to hold my hand, that much you'll put an additional effort to stand up by yourself.
So how to get your books, sir, if somebody wants to buy?
Both of them are available on Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, and of course, if somebody wants to know a little bit more about the books, they can also visit my website. So sushantrajput.co.in is a website which talks about me, my books, a little bit more before they can purchase, in case if they think it's right one.
Yes, that's right. So it was great talking to you, sir, and
Same
about
here.
so many points we discussed about how to deal with the small problems in life. That later on अगर ये अभी छोटा दिख रहा है, बाद में जाके बहुत बड़ा बन जाता है, पहाड़ बन जाता है. तो अगर जितना जल्दी उसका सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ ले, दैट इज़ इजी. जितने शीघ्र आमर प्रॉब्लम्स मानकर सॉल्यूशंस आम खोजा, सेतिकी शीघ्र आम जीवन में गोटे क्लियर पाथ पाइबा जे एई रास्ते चलवा दरकार, एई जगह पहुँचवा दरकार कि एई जिनस आम परस्यू करवा दरकार. सो विथ प्रोमिनेंट ऑथर सुशांत राजपूत का सहित कथा है कि आम बहुत किसी जिनस जानिले. आई होप कि आमर व्यूअर्स मैंने भी सहित कनेक्ट करंतु. इफ यू रियली वांट टू नो अबाउट address your troubles and find a solution, then he is the mentor. So I wish आप भी अगर व्यूअर से कोई कनेक्ट करे तो आप उनको सही दिशा दिखाइएगा.
I'll be more than happy to do that.
Yeah.
Just on your last point, if I got the ODR right, my philosophy is don't chase for the right answers. Rather ask the right questions. Because you might not get the right answers always. You might get
It's lovely.
if you ask the right questions, the answers might be right. But if you are expecting the right answers, पहले आपको सही सवाल पूछना पड़ेगा.
Ask the right questions in comment sections. Well, आज मैं पॉडकास्ट को ये रखा. पुणी थे देखा नुआ जड़े अतिथि सहित नुआ गोटे कहानी सहित. से समय पर्यंत साइनिंग ऑफ लेखिका बनस्मिता. नमस्कार सर.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting.